Welcome to Average Joe's Fantasy Sports Podcast, where we bring you news, notes, and more to help you win your championship fantasy football league. Stay tuned and listen in for the great information we have for you today. Welcome to another episode of Average Joe's Fantasy Sports Podcast. I'm Jared.
And I'm Scott.
And we're going to give you half of a Week 9 recap right now.
Yep.
We'll give you part 1, then we'll give you part 2 tomorrow. So we'll do, probably through, I think, the Baltimore-Tennessee game. Maybe we'll go into Denver-Philly. We'll see there. But definitely through the Baltimore-Tennessee game. We'll start with Thursday night and then go to them. Then we'll give you the other half, Denver through Detroit, Green Bay after that. So, with that being said, we'll jump off into Buffalo and New York. Thursday night football, one of the primetime games. Bam, bam, bam. We'll start with the Buffalo Bills team.
Yeah, we're going to start with garbage time.
We'll start with regular time first.
Oh, regular time. Okay, regular time. We have, let's see, the highest rusher was McCoy with 12 attempts for 25 yards.
McCoy, if you started McCoy this week, he didn't do very well.
He, let's see, he balled out against the Oakland Raiders, but not against the Jets, so.
Jets have a better defense, so.
Yeah.
They do, It's just hidden by their offense.
Oakland,
that's really bad.
Oakland, we do not have a good defense. But
you do not.
But on the good side, before you got Calvin Benjamin coming over since he didn't play, if you had Zay Jones, he helped you out a little bit with 6 receptions for 53 yards and a touch. So that's a good thing right there for you.
Yes.
I don't know. Do you think Thompson is a fluke, or you think he gonna get anything since Calvin Benjamin's coming in?
His touchdown was more garbage time than anything. So,
yeah.
But he'll probably fall back in line when he comes in. Either Jordan Matthews or Zay Jones will be the 2. Mm-hmm. So I guess we'll have to see what comes of that.
Buffalo's gonna look good if they can get everything in sync. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when Calvin Benjamin comes through, if he can make what's going on work right now, then he should be able to pull it together with his future stars, when Calvin Benjamin comes in. So we'll see when it comes out of that. But Deontay Thompson, I guess you can't rule him out, and they do have pretty good high praise for him. So, but when Calvin Benjamin comes back, let's move on.
Let's move on. Yeah. And then you got Tyrod Taylor if you had him in.
Yeah, you were happy though. He's somebody you could probably play the second half of the season.
For sure. He it looked very, very, very rough with him in the beginning of the game, I'll tell you that. But then in the garbage time you got 29 completions for 40 attempts, 285 yards, which isn't bad at all.
No.
2 touchdowns with no interceptions. So
you're not mad at that.
I'd take that.
Definitely not.
I mean, he did have some kind of turnovers. Don't say he didn't get any turnovers. He did.
He fumbled?
He fumbled one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's all right though. I'll take that.
And if you're thinking of maybe putting in Tyrod Taylor for next week, also just look at the matchups. They are playing against New Orleans next week, so I mean, the Saints are looking pretty lethal on the defensive end, but you could still use Taylor, especially when Benjamin comes in. So, yeah, see how good that goes.
Nice. Now let's move down to the Jet side.
I would stream the heck out of Josh McCown.
Yeah, he's been playing pretty well for a guy that's 38 and coming out of the oblivion.
For real.
140 with a touchdown, and a rushing touchdown to add on to it, and moved pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So No, it was pretty impressive. It's been impressive watching him play this year and having a kind of a bounce back season. I don't know how he's pulling it off or anything like that, but he's doing it. So he's figuring it out. He's making it work. And then he's making it work with the running backs and the receivers he has. Robbie Anderson. I mean, he's coming into play. He keeps looking for him week in and week out. 5 targets, 4 receptions, 48 yards, and a touchdown. He's definitely involved. And then, getting the running backs involved. Matt Forte had 4 targets, 4 receptions for 19 yards. We had 77 rush yards. How many attempts?
For rushing?
Yeah.
14 attempts.
14 attempts.
Mm-hmm.
And he had,
77 yards.
2 total touchdowns? Or 2 rushing touchdowns?
Yeah.
2 rushing touchdowns.
Yep.
25.6 fantasy points. PPR scoring.
Yeah. On my bench.
But
I still did come out the W, so as of right now.
Yeah. ASJ, though. He needs touchdowns because he does not get yards. He does not.
2 for 20.
Does not. I mean, he gets maybe 4 targets a game on average. He definitely needs yards.
Yeah.
Or he needs touchdowns, not yards. He needs touchdowns.
Both.
Well, he does need both. He needs to start getting more in the yards category.
Because, you got Robbie Anderson and you got Jermaine Curry, so, those 2 alone are needing to get the touches, but still, if you got ASJ, he's a good tight end.
He is.
He was very good with the Bucs.
He's also been robbed. He was robbed of a touchdown this game,
so
you can't.
It's tough out there.
That. But let's move on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Saints.
Yuck.
Yeah, not great.
If you have Mike Evans, Jared knows your pain. So
yeah, he injected, suspended for the next game. So
which is BS.
Yeah, coming week 10 or whatever, he's out. But that's how the cards fall. So if you have Mike Evans, you're gonna have to find a replacement for that week. Maybe Robbie Anderson, somebody you can go ahead and stream if you need to.
Would you ever ponder him off on something, on a good trade?
Who?
Mike Evans.
No, I'll keep him. It's just one game suspension. So.
I know, but with the way that's going on right now, you think Fitzpatrick will...
Fitzpatrick, when he came in relief a couple weeks ago, gave him a touchdown.
That was against the Cardinals. Cardinals are kind of beat up on the defense, so...
Their schedule gets easier.
We'll see. I don't know. Fitzpatrick is what I call him, so...
He's been playing better than Jameson the time he's been playing, so...
8 attempts. 8 completions for 15 attempts, 68 yards for a touchdown.
And that was just in relief of Jameis, so...
Jameis doesn't even have stats on here. They didn't even put his stats on here. Oh, they did now. He had 7 for 13 for 67.
It's a struggle. Struggle against the Saints for them.
Yeah.
But... you're gonna probably find them next week. Who do they play next week? Does it show on there?
Let me see. Tampa plays the Jets in Tampa.
Yeah, I'd be fine firing them up.
Think so, huh?
Why not? Tyrod Taylor's could let it come.
And the good thing about Fitzpatrick is
less receivers.
He does run the ball himself. He likes to run.
He'll take off.
That's a good thing if you have a mobile quarterback like him. He's not afraid to go run. That's for sure. Oh my goodness.
No, absolutely not. But on the Saints side, you're pretty happy with most of your people. Alvin Kamara, if you started him this week, 31 fantasy points in PPR scoring. You had 1 rushing touchdown and 1 receiving touchdown on 6 of 7 targets and 84 yards. And 68 more yards on the ground.
Mm-hmm. You did good. He
was very involved. So here with the Saints, everybody was worried about running back by the committee. But what people don't realize, the Saints have the most rushing touchdowns in the red zone over the past 2 seasons. 3 seasons, actually, I think is what it was. So they run the ball when it comes into the red zone. They put that there, and they had the most attempts in there. So they'll get down there when they're in the red zone, when they're within the 10 to the goal line, they'll go for it in the running game.
They literally have what the Falcons have is a 1-2 punch.
They have
really do.
A good 1-2 punch too. So
I mean, you got, Ingram getting 16 attempts for 77 yards. I mean, that's still good, but he was barely involved compared to Kamara.
he was.
So,
that's correct. And then
they're always going to have that, up and down kind of game. So
Yeah, they
one
will.
will be involved, one won't. Whatever.
Speaking of involved, Ted Ginn's more involved than ever. 4
Goodness
for
gracious.
5, 59 and a touchdown. Keeps getting work. 15.9. Michael Thomas again just finds his way. 8 receptions, 65 yards. I mean, he always gets up with 8 receptions. I don't get it. 7 or 8, and gets like between 60 and 80 yards. And that's
No
a day.
touchdowns.
Never gets touchdowns though. That's his floor.
Crazy.
Willie Snead's kind of a non-factor, may stay a non-factor. So I believe he had a fumble in the game. So.
He did on
I mean, he's as of right now he's either droppable or not needed. Excuse me.
yeah,
So it's just hard to watch Snead play.
right?
But I think I would fire up your players for next week if you have Buccaneers. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Why not?
Um, I mean,
Especially
what
if
is
you
there to
have-
lose? I mean,
if you have what am I trying to think of? Deshaun Jackson. There we go.
who you think would be involved against the Jets?
It's gonna have to be. Mike Evans is suspended.
True, huh?
So he's got to be the number 1 role.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Atlanta and Carolina. Not bad for fantasy day overall. We'll start with the Falcons. Matt Ryan throws for 313 yards and 2 touchdowns. Could have been 3 touchdowns if Julio didn't drop one.
That's a tough one for all you Julio owners
is.
out there. That's for sure.
That would have added on to his crazy
Tough.
day because he had 6 for 118. If he had caught that, I think that was like a 60-yard bomb or something like that, 40 or 50-yard bomb. So plus a touchdown, that would have added 11 more points to your score.
Mhm.
So 12 more points even with the catch. So
It was
It's
wide
tough.
open too.
right in the breadbasket. But you're still pretty happy with the performance overall. So he had 17.8 fantasy points. Mohamed Sanu was getting involved, 3 for 23 and a touchdown. So still finding the end zone. Not a lot of targets, but
Crazy.
met with Matt Ryan's poor performance, you were just happy to come out the way that you did.
Mhm.
So, but he had 18 fantasy points in standard scoring. Man, oh man, sorry for the Falcons.
Yeah.
What happened with the Panthers, man?
Panthers. Well, Cam Newton is back to his somewhat self, I guess.
Yeah, rushing
Huh.
plays.
Yeah.
Saved you on the ground because in the
Yeah.
air he was terrible.
Yeah, 13 for 24 with 137. No Kevin Benjamin. That's what happens.
That's what you get. You know?
9 attempts for 86 yards and a touch for Cam Newton, your highest rushing. Your second rushing, if you have Christian McCaffrey, you did all right. 15 for 66 and a touch. We won't complain about that. Then your receiving ends here, if you have Funches, your leader looks like 5 receptions for 86 yards. Not too bad, and McCaffrey's still getting involved, which is great. Gotta love those running backs that can catch. 5 attempts for 28 yards.
Yep.
Can't complain one bit. And Luke Kuechly with your most tackles in the game, 11. So gotta love Luke, man.
Awesome. Curtis Samuel, though, thinks he's going to start getting more involved. I wonder if he's going to have to start getting more involved. He's one of their rookie picks, but
I hope so. They give more of kind of like I don't know, because I mean you got Jonathan Stewart still there getting those touches too, so it really would have to depend. I mean, I don't know. Really, I don't know if he's ever going to get involved this year. I really don't.
yeah, it's
Jonathan
maybe.
Stewart taking it. I mean, he did get the receiving ends, so he was out there with 3 receptions for 23 yards. So, I mean, if you can put him and McCaffrey back there and kind of just dink and dunk, it still counts. So,
That's true. You'll take the yards and everything that comes afterwards. So
he'd be a sneaky snart, you know?
Snart,
Yeah, sneaky snart out there.
Snart. All right, give him a sneaky Snart.
I'm
You're the
not
first people.
gonna change the words that came out of my mouth.
Well, let's change the teams or the teams of the game. Let's go Indianapolis Colts versus Houston Texans. What
Yuck.
would have been a win for the Texans if Deshaun Watson could have played, but you're still happy. I'll just start with the Texans because I'm on there now. DeAndre Hopkins, you don't have to really worry about him. He's kind of been matchup proof now. 16 targets, 6 receptions, 86 yards and a touchdown. If Tom Savage with any kind of competence, he could have gone way above and connected even like 5 more of those. It could have been an even bigger day for DeAndre Hopkins. Will Fuller comes down to earth in this situation. He had 8 targets, but 2 receptions, 32 yards. I mean, terrible. And then Lamar Miller, 57 rush yards, 3 receptions on 34 yards. No scores.
He did pretty good, though.
But yeah, he held his own here. Yep, he was involved. He stayed involved. Tom Savage is a nightmare. I don't even want to read his stats. It's just pitiful. So, but going to the Colts side of things, we have Jacoby Brissett playing pretty well.
He's showing some.
I mean, he's getting some time to actually start and play and develop. So we'll see what happens after this year. Maybe he stays the backup there for a while, or maybe he moves on. Who knows?
Maybe if Andrew Luck gets to be healthy. I mean, as of right now, Jacoby's making a name for himself.
Maybe he gets competent and goes down, takes Blake Bortles' job.
Anywhere that needs help. Look at the Giants.
Yeah, maybe Eli Manning leaves, goes to the Giants. That's possible.
I mean, just teams in general. Like, let's see, Miami might need help.
Ryan Tannehill stays bad.
Broncos, for goodness sake, they might need some
Jets.
help. The Jets after
have
McCown.
No future after that.
After McCown, yeah.
Yep. All those options. So
Bengals.
Word. Bengals maybe. Yeah. Cleveland. Let's bomb into T.Y. Hilton now. Is this a fluke game? Should you sell high on T.Y. Hilton maybe? 5 for 175 and 2 touchdowns? Or is this the coming together of an actual competent offense?
I would still plug him in. Him and Jacoby are finally getting connected, and they know what they're doing. He got bombed twice. I mean, one was for 80-something yards.
Yeah, one of them he got kind of lucky where he jumped over the guy, fell down, got up.
None of it's lucky. It's T.Y. though.
That was kind of lucky that he jumped over it. That was fortunate the guy didn't touch him, because if he had touched him,
if you're the Seattle's defense, let the guy fall for about 6 yards and don't even touch him when you're running next to him.
Yeah, well, that's possible too. Jack Doyle in PPR gets you involved, 8 for 63, no touchdown, but you're happy with the 14.3 points in PPR scoring.
He's a good stream.
Not even a stream, he's a good starter now. Yeah. I think he's moving into tight end 1 in PPRs.
Story rules,
at the end, between the 8th and 9th or 8th and 10th tight end.
Frank Gore, yuck.
Yeah, what was forgetting about
Mac? I think needs to take over that service.
Frank Gore had 10.7 points, but not wildly efficient. So. As he hasn't been up late, so it just is what it is.
I think this is last year. I don't know if a lot of
last year here at least. He'll probably play somewhere else. I don't know what else he's going to do.
You think he'll play another year?
He'll play somewhere else.
Huh, interesting.
Let's go to the Rams. Let's go to the Giants. Let's talk about the Giants first to get them out of the way because they're pitiful because the Rams are exciting. Yeah, Eli Manning, give me the stats.
My thing is loading is
oh my goodness. I'm just kidding.
The connection.
Do your thing. Take your time.
Eli Manning. 20 for 36, 220, 2 touch, and 1 intercept. So, it's pitiful out there. I mean, yes, you're looking at the 220, but I don't even know how much he put up for fantasy. What is it, 12? About 13 points?
12 points, yeah, so 13 points if you want.
Yuck.
Yeah.
I mean...
It's not ideal, not ideal.
Not the greatest, but, yeah, I mean...
You'll just take what you can get. Sometimes that's what it is. You just take what you can get.
Yeah.
Be happy.
Shepard came back. 5 receptions for 70 yards. You got Ingram. Should be technically a wide receiver, not a tight end, but he has 4 receptions for 70 yards and a touchdown, so that's great for him.
Evan Ingram's the truth. Corey said it best. He is the truth, and he's showing it week in and week out. So thank you, Corey, in that trade. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Corey. I got him in the other league, too.
In the next trade, you're right. You do. So that's awesome.
Yeah. And then
you can find me in St. Louis.
Oh, you want to go to St. Louis? That's fine. because this is just fun. Fun to talk about this one. Jared Goff. Oh my goodness.
Balling out,
gracious.
man.
Second year, balling it out.
Sean
like Carson
McVay
Wentz.
should be coach of the year, if not Doug Peterson for Philly. That's close to me. Because, I mean, either one.
Both
Sean McVay had a harder time because of where that team was last year. He took the pieces that were already there and turned them into something that Jeff Fisher could not. Doesn't make any sense. And
Now,
Wade Phillips looks like he's having the time of his life on defense there.
Now look at this. Both of these teams that we're talking about, Rams and Philly, both coaches should be equally the coaches of the year. And yesterday's game, they both put up 51 points against their opponents.
Dominated.
Insane.
Dominated. Rams went from a terrible offense to the highest scoring offense.
They already have a great defense.
Yes.
Now you're getting this explosive offense. Gosh, the defense is finally going.
Todd
yes.
Gurley's back. What's the stats?
Ooh, Todd Gurley's stats was 16 attempts for 59 yards, only 59 yards. But guess what?
That's fine.
2 touches. That gave you so many points. How
And
many points to the
receiving
end of the
game. 24.4, baby.
Ooh.
Helped me and my team get the
PPR
win.
standings.
2 catches for 45 yards. Followed the passing game too. He just keeps doing his thing. He's the bounce. He could be the comeback player of the year or whatever it is. The bounce back player of the year, whatever it is. But it's awesome. Robert Woods.
Yeah.
This could be a new sighting. He might be the number 1 there.
Easily.
He's showing out way more than Sammy Watkins. Way more involved than Sammy Watkins. I mean, they even came from the same team.
They just got a hell of a lineup, man.
Yeah, they just took, what the Bills couldn't use and figured it out. Because Sammy Watkins did get involved.
Oh
He got
my gosh.
1 catch, 67 yards and a touch.
Sammy Watkins.
But Robert Woods is the consistent one. Although one of them was a screen pass that he made the play on.
Right.
So,
Yeah, 50-something yards. Or whatever it
yeah,
was.
that's where most of his yards came from. His other one was a little bit shorter, but he's doing his thing and he's playing good football. So,
Yeah.
no, they fire up the Rams when they play. Go ahead and get them in there. Their team is, absolutely just full of fun, full of the stats.
Yes.
And fire Greg Sturman. He keeps getting points, man. He's like 12 points a game for a kicker. It's impressive.
Great.
Nice.
They're always going to be explosive like that. They're going to get points. So
We're 2 more games here for y'all. We'll do the Bengals and the Jaguars right quick. We'll
That
start with the
defense.
Bengals because the Bengals. We'll start with the Bengals first. I want to start with the teams that are terrible first. Get them out of the way.
okay, Andy Dalton, garbage.
Yeah.
10 for 18, 136 yards,
There was-
0 across the
There
way.
was no way he was going to be a stream this week. That's just
5
terrible.
fantasy points.
He's not good.
Got to be kidding me.
He's not good. He's not bad, but he's not good.
Okay, y'all might.
He's like not you can't get rid of him because he's a good NFL quarterback.
Right.
But he's not like a good fantasy quarterback. So
I ended up getting rid of AJ Green today in a
why
trade.
would you do that?
Why?
I'm just kidding.
Because of Andy Dalton. That's the reason.
Andy Dalton's a legend. What are you talking about?
He wins you games, huh?
Maybe.
It's because of this stat right here. AJ Green with 1 reception for 6 yards
Touchdown.
and an ejection.
Wasn't it a touchdown though?
No,
Oh, it wasn't?
No.
Ooh, that stinks.
no.
Oh, it wasn't.
No.
Ooh.
The only touchdown.
Andy
Was,
Dalton didn't throw any touchdowns. That's what it was.
the only touchdown was 13 attempts for 31 yards and a touch by
Yeah,
Joe
2.4
Mixon.
yards per Joe Mixon. That's terrible. Awful.
So
The offense is dysfunctional. AJ McCarron put him in since you couldn't trade him away to the Browns because he missed the deadline like a bunch of doofuses.
they were saying that they
Actually, the
wanted out
Browns
of
missed the deadline like a bunch of doofuses.
Yeah. He wanted out of there, is what they're saying. But Brandon LaFell, a great pickup. Even a Croft is a great pickup. If you don't have them already, for Croft, 2 receptions for 79 yards, your highest receiver. And LaFell for 2 receptions for 28.
Croft may go from streamer though to in your lineup depending because he gets the targets. He's the bailout man and he's healthy and he's the Tyler Eifert that he's always wanted but could never have because Tyler Eifert's always hurt.
When in doubt, I forgot,
Punk
right?
ass. No. I'm just watching these game updates here and everything like that, and man, it is. Look at those incomplete passes to Jordy Nelson. Ugh, terrible.
Oh yeah.
Terrible. Just terrible. But let's pop down to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Talk about Blake Bortles actually being a competent quarterback. Give me his stats. I got it. Just kidding. 24-38, 259, 1 touchdown, short yards per average, but that's what you get when you just think and dunk your day. Yep.
Still counts.
To success, to victory, man. No interceptions. That's how Blake Bortles should play, though.
Yes.
He is the new Alex Smith. Well, Alex Smith has become someone completely different.
It's insane how sports can change.
And if you needed somebody in place of Leonard Fournette, hopefully you grab Chris Ivory, which I didn't. I dropped the ball and grabbed TJ Yeldon. I failed pretty hard right there. Good job, Corey. 20 for 70, so not great in yards per carry, but he was involved in the passing game, 3 for 34, so that was pretty awesome. That's great to see.
That is good to see. Then you got Marquise Lee.
Yes.
8 receptions, 75 yards, and a touch.
He played well.
He did.
He played very well. He made some good grabs out there. That ugly mug playing ball. Otherwise, You're not really starting any receivers here. Maybe Marquise Lee if you are desperate and need him. But Leonard Fournette comes back, so it's back to the ground and pound.
Yep. We'll see how good they are going to be next week.
Mm-hmm.
Blake Bortles, if you have Blake Bortles, I would start him. Because if you look at his game log, he's gotten like 5 games or something like that. That's just good. He's been good.
You're just good. You're just good.
Oh, thank you.
No, thank you. Nice. Ravens. Titans.
You wish your team could have won this game, though, huh?
I do. They finally showed up in the fourth quarter, but that was way too late. Way too late. Why you showing up in the last minutes?
Man.
Hey, this is for you, Scott. 12-yard gain, 13-yard gain for Marvin Jones. He's getting in there. Just so everybody, sorry, we're doing this live Monday night, compared to when we usually do it on Tuesday.
Right.
We're going to start doing this now more frequently, so probably during the late evening game and everything like that. A little like CBS, just letting you guys know. Thank you, CBS. I like you guys over there, so why not? They're awesome over there.
Shout you guys out.
Yeah, exactly. So, Eric Reed on getting involved. So if we get a little distracted because we got some fantasy players still left, Scott does. He's trying to get some wins out here. So don't be surprised if we get a little distracted. Thank y'all for tuning in and listening. Though. So
Right.
Appreciate you coming with the nonsense.
Exactly.
But we'll start with Baltimore. Joe Flacco played pretty well. 261 pass yards, 2 TDs, and 2 picks. But that's the best you could probably see from Joe Flacco right now. So.
I think one of them wasn't his fault.
No, it wasn't.
So
it bounced off, but it's just
Joe Flacco looked more alive in this game too.
he did a lot more energy here. The team had more energy.
Yeah, they looked like they could have won this game,
but they're in scramble mode. But they called him Buck Allen for that. 8 targets, 7 receptions, 44 yards, and a touchdown in receiving, and then 21 rushing yards. If you guys had Alex Collins, you were kind of let down, but hopefully if the game script changes and they're ahead, then Alex Collins will be running the ball. When they're behind, clearly it's Buck Allen for now. Until Danny Woodhead's there, then it's all kind of a toss-up in the passing game.
See, that's why I love fantasy football so much, too, when it comes to that, because you can rely on certain players, but then if your team gets ahead, then it's running. Or if you need wide receivers, they're down more to the wide receivers. So it's give and take. And you got to look at the matchups, too. So.
You do. Speaking of that matchups, Jeremy Maclin, though, 8 for 98, getting a little bit alive, 12.3 yards per catch, so getting some depth downfield.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome. So that's good to see. Perhaps pick him up if you need somebody to fill your bench, or if you need someone that's streamers or whatever the case may be for your team. And then we're bringing in Mike Wallace, that you got 4 for 19, but did catch the touchdown. So.
But that was in garbage time. But still counts. That's all that matters.
Garbage time for someone's win, probably.
Yeah. For
Laney Walker, let's go to the Titans here.
Marcus Mariota?
We can start with him, actually. We'll swing over to him.
Start from the top. Not from the bottom.
No,
start from the top.
Let's start from the bottom. Let's do it.
Ooh, Marvin Jones, what?
23 300-yard game. He's killing
Let's
it out
go.
there. 100+ yards easy.
Let's go.
So, back to this. This is the last game we're going to do. 19 of 28, 218, and 2 touchdowns, 1 pick for Marcus Mariota. So,
Didn't do bad.
not terrible. Only 9 incompletions. Had 100 passer rating, so not bad.
Derrick Henry is showing up.
Enough. 8 for 26 with a touchdown, so on that end. So that's good. DeMarco Murray keeps leaving the game in and out. So,
True.
if you have DeMarco Murray and you don't have Derrick Henry, maybe sell Derrick Henry, or maybe sell DeMarco Murray to the Derrick Henry owner, or vice versa. Get Derrick Henry, whatever you need to do.
Right.
Because it might be his job coming up if DeMarco Murray can't get healthy.
I mean,
It might be that way.
I could have gotten a chance from Jake. He offered me a trade, and he could have gave me Cooper Kupp, and could have gave me Derrick Henry for AJ Green. I decided to go for Ingram and Calvin Benjamin.
It is what it is, though. It is what it is, man. But Delaney Walker's that man, 5 for 71, coming back from his injuries. So good job for Delaney. I always liked him. I always like the way he plays. He's awesome. And Rashard Matthews, 4 for 70 to touchdown. Still the number 1 receiver there.
Yep.
Surprising though, Decker got involved. Now we're not saying go invest in Decker or anything like that.
Right.
But he did show up 3 for 21 and a touchdown. So that's the best he's been so far.
That's good. That's good for Decker though.
For anybody who's got Corey Davis, it wasn't a good stats right now, but he had a sick one-handed grab. That grab was awesome. So his talent is showed in his last game and what he can do in his playmaking ability. So in the future, if you're in a dynasty league, rare dynasty advice from us, hold on.
He just did come back, so
yep, that's true.
So they might have just threw him in just for a little bit to get his legs wet, but then that's just wait for next week.
Mm-hmm.
Their next matchup, which is obviously week 10, unless they're on a bye. They're not on a bye. They're playing against Cincinnati.
Cincinnati's due.
So look at the game logs, look at the updates, do what you need to do, see what it says for Corey Davis. I mean, if you have Rashard Matthews, fire him up.
Yeah.
So if you have Marvin Jones, oh my gosh, we'll get to that later.
Exactly. But we're gonna cut this one short. We'll bring you part 2 tomorrow.
Yes.
And we'll give you the rest of the team. We're gonna start off with the Denver and the Philly game. That disaster. If you started anybody in Denver, you feel bad. But hey, it is what it is.
I don't feel bad whatsoever.
So well, yeah, that's fair. You have that right to be biased, I guess. But we appreciate you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you guys for listening. We'll check you guys out tomorrow. You guys check us out tomorrow. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of the Monday night game. We out.